Munchkins and viewers alike, it's me Munchie and welcome to today's Munchie Talk, where we're going to be talking about care guides from pet stores. Oh no! Don't get me started. As you guys know, I am all about education and proper enrichment of our fellow hammies. And unfortunately, pet stores, even though they have these sort of care guides to sort of help the new time pet owner, I would personally like to be that person that can help you, new time pet owner, understand why their care guides are not so great. So we're just kind of evaluating these care guides today, but if anybody is a new time hamster owner here or is looking to get a hamster, please check out other content available on this channel. There is a hamster care guide playlist on here, so you can go check that out. That should help you out a little bit. Plus Munchie Talks usually have me discussing stuff, so you can check out some of my Munchie Talks as well. I picked up some care guides a very long time ago, so they might have newer information, but I know that Petco hasn't updated their care guides at all. These are the exact same care guides. PetSmart, I'm not so sure about. I actually haven't seen any of their care guides around anywhere, so I don't know if they've updated or not. So we're going to just be going over both of them today. This video might be a little bit lengthy, but thank you guys for staying put and just wanting to hear from me and hear what is in these wonderful care guides that I'm flapping around, because you know this is not going to be fun for me. So we're going to be diving into Petco first, and there is two care guides. There's the Dwarf Hamster and the Hamster. Wow! Dwarf Hamster and Hamster, that is all you can choose from. So just letting you guys know, this is a Syrian hamster, also referred to at Petco, a teddy bear hamster, or from some pet stores, a panda bear hamster. These are nicknames. These are not the correct name of the animal. Hamster is so vague. What are you doing, Petco? Because PetSmart's doing a little bit better when it comes to informing people of the correct term for the animal. Also, it's so misguided when you just write hamster, because there's so many species of hamsters. We got the winter whites, Campbell's Russian dwarf. We also have Robo-Ruskies, which are the smallest and fastest little hamster, and they are very hard to tame. And then we also have Syrians, and we have Chinese dwarfs, because they have different body types and they have different tails. But let's look at this one. This one says short-haired and long-haired teddy bear hamsters. So they actually wrote teddy bear here instead of just at the title, which if somebody was in the store and they just saw a hamster care sheet, they just grab that and not really know. Teddy bear hamsters and clean and captivating companion animals that are best kept individually. Thank you, Petco, even though I have seen Petco rehome multiple hamsters together. Now, this is not necessarily the company's fault, but it does have a lot to do with their training, employee training, and if they don't know the species of animal of which they are trying to rehome, because it is so easy to get pet store animals, very easy, barely an inconvenience. People can just pick these guys up without having to ask a single question, which is awful. And it has a lot to do with the leaders in that store. It doesn't really have a lot to do with higher up. It has a lot to do with leaders. And if leaders are not doing their correct job, the district manager needs to do their job and train those leaders to train their employees. If they are not doing it, you see how frustrated I am, because it actually came from a pet store working environment that knows about like the leaderships and stuff. If that person is not doing their job, step in and help guide the store instead of guiding sales into people's pockets. Yeah, but it says here, facts: average adult size 4 to 5 inches long, average lifespan 2 to 3 years with proper care. So let's read on the inside. Diet as number 1. A well-balanced hamster diet consists of, and it's very weird to put diet first, I just want to make a note of that, high quality hamster lab blocks and limited amounts of grains, vegetables, fruits, and Timothy hay. Limited, eh? Right here, they really need to be selective on their words and use the correct words. Using words as limited amounts of grains, vegetables, fruits, and Timothy hay makes it sound like, oh hey, yeah, ease up on these items, all right? You're gonna make your hamster sick, you know. Go towards the junk food, because the junk food is completely fine. Just use commercial food all the time. You should be good. No. Hamsters need at least 3 times veggies per week. Fruits, not so much, because they do contain some sugars, so maybe like once in a while, once a week, twice a week, something like that. That's very small amounts. At least I got Timothy hay correct, because it does tell you that, hey, hamsters really shouldn't have Timothy hay. It's more of a nesting material, but they don't make that clear in here. They use it under diet, which sucks. And yes, there's hamster food out there like Oxbow and now the KT food in the wild. Number 1 ingredient's hay, and they just can't digest hay, and they don't like it. diet. And so they leave all of the little fiber pellets there because that's not going to fill them up. They are protein-based diets, but it doesn't list any of that here. It just says high quality hamster lab blocks. Now, you do need a seed mix involved, so just hearing the words lab blocks is not going to provide a variety of different ingredients in there. It's just going to provide a block that has a lot of protein, but maybe missing out on the fats and or the fiber in their diets. It says clean, fresh, filtered, water, changed daily. Do not feed chocolate, caffeine, or alcohol as these can cause serious medical conditions. Avoid sugar and high-fat treats. Well, it's just so common sense. Why would you add that? You can totally add something else there, but let's continue. It says feeding next. Things to remember when feeding your hamster. Fresh food and water should be available always. It's just the common sense of shelter, food, and water. Your basics. You're welcome. It's just such stupid text. A limited amount of grain, vegetables, fruits, or Timothy hay can be given daily, but should not exceed 10% of their total diet. Okay, 10%. Okay, so that right there, over 10% of their total diet, that is incorrect. You want to be feeding them a lot of fruits. Vegetables and fruits not eaten within 24 hours should be discarded. Another no duh factor there. You want to make sure that they're not rotting in there, but this isn't really a care guide per se about what the hamster needs. It's just don't be a dumb owner, dummy. Next, we got housing, which I feel like should have been first because the number one thing people look for is what do we house our animal in, because that's the main thing. You kind of want to get prepared first before you jump right into it. Hamsters acclimate well to average household temperatures not to exceed 80. Wait, what? This is the first thing when it comes to housing. Yes, it is understandable to make sure that people are aware what temperatures a Syrian hamster needs just because they are found in parts of Syria. Right there, that is good information, but it feels like it shouldn't be at the very top of the housing section. Habitat should be plastic, metal, or glass with an escape-proof solid bottom. There should be plenty of room for the hamster to exercise and play. It is best to provide the largest habitat possible. Lackluster information. Oh, okay, so that means I get to buy like a 3-tier rad enclosure and then just watch my hamster fall off the top platform and fall to the very bottom, injuring himself, or I'm just gonna provide it a shoebox size enclosure and never upgrade to anything else in the KT Critter Trail line because I thought I just needed one thing. Oh, I need multiple? Oh, I need something bigger? Like, it's not telling anybody how many square inches you need as a base start for a hamster. It just says, make sure to get the biggest thing possible. Everybody's idea is different. They don't understand that. They might think a Critter Trail shoebox size is the best idea, and so they're gonna think this is complete factual information. It is not. It is, again, Petco, what are you doing? You guys can understand my frustrations. It's not providing people with a good sense of idea of what they're doing. This is probably why people neglect their animals, not intentionally. Even though we can rebuttal and say people need to do their research first before purchasing an animal, a lot of people are dummies, unfortunately, and they don't do that. Let's continue. 1 to 2 inches of bedding should be placed in the habitat. Wrong. At least a minimum of 3 inches, where preferably 5 inches or more is recommended. High quality paper bedding, crumpled paper bedding, or hardwood shaving. Cedar based products are not recommended. At least they mentioned cedar is not recommended, but they did not mention pine. But that's because kiln dried pine is supposedly safe. I just rather not use that because there is a safer wood named aspen that you could buy alongside pine. I know that wood can be really good at absorbing, better than, say for instance, paper, because paper builds up ammonia over time and that could get really nasty for somebody's nostrils and senses. But let's continue because that's incorrect information right there about just that section. House adult hamsters separately. Different types of small animals should not be housed together. Yes, okay, that is, I guess, a good fact of please don't house them. Again, they're telling you please don't house them, but they should use better wording for that and not to house them with other animals. That is correct. You shouldn't do that. Normal behavior and characteristics. Play during the night and rest during the day. Nocturnal. They are actually not nocturnal. I forgot what the word was. Oh gosh. Some Syrian hamsters actually come out during twilight hours, but I do have some hamsters that come out mainly during nocturnal hours, but the majority of hamsters will be coming out in twilight hours, so that is kind of false, but there is some truth to that because specific hamsters have their own time clocks. And some people say that you can actually get hamsters adjusted to daylight. However, I feel like that would just screw with your system way too much when a hamster's instincts is to come out during these times. Yeah, it says right here, but can adjust to your schedule. I don't really find that correct. I find that my hamsters become very drowsy if I accidentally wake them up and then I don't see them for a couple nights because I disturb their sleep time. So to me, that doesn't seem incorrect at all. It says easy to handle but may nip if suddenly awakened from a nap or startled. That is incorrect. There's other ways your hamster can act poorly, and they're not easy to handle. It may be easy tasks to handle an animal such as this, but it's not easy right off the bat. I hate using these words in these types of things. It is not easy at all. I've had scared, timid hamsters. Echo, for instance, she was dropped by people mishandling her because they thought that she was a nippy little thing and she was aggressive, when it turns out she was just scared, frightened because of the mishandling. If you don't know what you're doing, it's not easy. So I kind of wish they would describe how to pick up an animal, but usually you find that information out during talking to the pet store employee, which a lot of the times I did talk in the past when I was growing up to pet store employees, asking them questions, but there has been like 1 or 2 employees of the past that I've talked to who absolutely have no information to provide me and say, oh yeah, you can, here, take this and read it. It sucks. I just wish that people would describe more so how you can handle your hamster, and some people just don't understand that. And I saw nowhere in this care guide so far where it says wheel needs to be accessible 24/7 in their enclosure. Nothing. But let's keep reading. Chew on objects to maintain incisor teeth, which grow continuously. Ensure they have plenty of wood chew sticks or mineral chews. Wood chew sticks is preferred. Mineral chews I don't give my hamsters. I'm gonna say maybe that's kind of more like a treat, the mineral chews. I do have lava blocks that they absolutely love to chew on, and it really does help anything hard. And whimsy chews are really great. They're a good treat as well as a chew because they start off hard, and then the more you chew, it becomes a little bit softer for them. But this part is good. It tells you need to have them, but I kind of wish they would focus on that more, be like, you need to have chews, because there's been times when hamsters' teeth grow right up to their roof, and it's because people were not informed they need chew toys all the time, not just a one and done deal all the time. Habitat maintenance. Clean and disinfect the habitat and its contents at least once a week with 3% bleach solution. You don't need to be using bleach solution. You can use basic dish soap. I recommend a dish soap that's really good for your health. You know, nothing that smells because, you know, they're sensitive and all. Use something that has no fragrance. Also, you can use water and vinegar. That works just as well, but I want to say here, clean the habitat once a week. That's more like spot cleaning. You spot clean once a week, you deep clean monthly. And that's because they are going off of care guides of the past, where if you are housing them in a tiny critter trail, yeah, you need to be cleaning that thing out every week, deep cleaning it, which is a total waste of bedding as well as just a waste of your time having to take apart the enclosure. It is so tricky. You have a bunch of tubes. It's so claustrophobic in there. You really got to be cleaning, and parents don't like doing that. So it becomes a really big chore that people just don't like doing. So spot cleaning one area of the enclosure weekly and then deep cleaning monthly is usually what I do. And that's just getting all of the peed on spots taken care of, and then voila, it doesn't smell as much because the ammonia is now gone and taken care of, and your hamster is not smelling that anymore, and you're not smelling that anymore. But unfortunately, this is incorrect here. You should be spot cleaning and deep cleaning. Grooming and hygiene. Hamsters stay clean and rarely need baths, but can be spot cleaned with a damp washcloth or unscented baby wipes if needed. Do not do this. Do not do this at all. Use sand baths. Sand baths, people, because they can self-clean themselves using sand baths. If you notice your Roborowski is greasy, the coat doesn't look so great, you're like, ew, why does my hamster look this way? You need to provide that hamster with sand, not dust. Sand. Sand will help keep their coats clean. They are a desert animal, and if you're not providing that for them, then their coats really do get very greasy. It's like if you were not able to bathe in the shower and use your shampoos and conditioners, your hair will turn out to be greasy in the end. So don't use any sort of water on them. Hairless hamsters benefit from a small amount of non-toxic oil-based lotion rubbed into their skin to keep it soft. Just use coconut oil. It's great. All you ever need to do is use coconut oil. And for hairless hamsters, you really don't need to do anything else but provide them with soft bedding like paper bedding. Aspen I would not recommend at all for hairless hamsters. Some people actually provide them with little wool coats. You don't even need to do that for them unless it's for, like, say, the winter time and your house can dip very low, or just provide them with tons and tons of paper bedding, because that right there will just keep them warm. Next one, it is normal for a hamster's teeth to be yellow. Cleaning is not necessary. That's correct, and I do get this asked a lot by people. Is yellow teeth okay? Yes, it is. It is natural for our teeth to yellow and are naturally long too. People get very scared that their hamster's teeth are way too long, but sometimes it is actually the natural length. As long as their incisors are not reaching to the tops of the roofs up there and are actually impacting, then your hamster is fine, as well as if their incisors start to divide, that is a sign of very bad teeth. So you want to take them to a vet. If they're going straight up, you're a-okay. And sometimes hamsters will get chipped teeth. And it says here, consult with the veterinarian if a hamster's teeth seem too long. That is another thing when people get so scared and they bring their hamster to a vet and it turns out their teeth are fine. Make sure, guys, look this information up first online. Look at pictures if you are worried. Don't freak out. Our hamster's teeth are naturally very long. Petco is just gonna make you spend more money when you don't need to, or spend money on the wrong stuff, which a lot of hamster owners, they get so frustrated with spending money on the wrong stuff, then they end up not enjoying their hamster when they could have if provided the correct information, Petco. So down below, they list common health issues. They say diabetes, diarrhea, overgrown teeth, and mites. Mites is okay. I like that they added that. Overgrown teeth, I do like that too, but they don't really go into detail about that. Diabetes, you mostly find that in winter whites. You don't really find Syrian hamsters diabetic. It's not really common from what I've been told. Diarrhea, I wish they would actually say wet tail, because wet tail is what basically kills Syrian hamsters at a very young age because their immune systems aren't fully developed, and so if they are super stressed, they can die very easily, especially if you're not giving them a break. If you're manhandling them, they can suddenly go south and develop wet tail that is usually always fatal. But this care guide isn't gonna go into those types of details. They just don't want to. So here we go, dwarf hamster, diet. A well-balanced diet, high quality hamster blocks, the same thing that we heard. I'm just scrolling through here, guys, so I'm just looking at this, Here we go, the only thing that's different in housing. Hamsters are solitary animals, but dwarf hamsters may be kept in the same sex pairs if they are raised together. Otherwise, keep adult hamsters housed separately. Different types of small animals should not be housed together. Now, I wish they would go into better details about that. Yes, you could keep same-sex pairs from the same litter. I wish they would say same litter. They should also mention very young, and they don't do that. So yeah, same-sex pairs, same litter, but they need to be together when they're young, and they need to emphasize about the housing situation. If you're to have pairs, you need to have the space for it. They don't include that. That is terrible information. If somebody is going to have two dwarf hamsters come home, then unfortunately they might find one dead or one with its back eaten up by the other one. So again, we got the normal behavior and characteristics being the same. They say here, easy to handle but more quickly. That is so stupid. Easy to handle but more quickly. No, Robo-Roskies are one of the fastest little guys, and people have the hardest time taming them because they don't understand it's not easy. I hate that word, Petco. Stop putting easy in this. Some species, such as the Chinese dwarfs and robos, are less likely to nip or bite. What? What? I've had all the species bite me. Are you kidding me? No, that is so incorrect there. That is very incorrect. I've had dwarfs bite me. I've had robos bite me. I haven't really personally dealt with Chinese, but I can't speak for them, but I can speak for the majority of the dwarfs. They all bite. After that, it just has all the same ones. All the same. So it's the exact same care guide as this one, except for this has just tiny itty bitty little non-detailed details. That's the best way I could put it right there. So here we have the Syrian hamster from PetSmart and the dwarf hamster from PetSmart, which they actually, at the very top for the dwarfs, list them all. It's so cool that PetSmart actually has all of their dwarf names up here and what they actually are right there. I like that a lot. So let's just jump into it. And there's also this extra one, which I kudos to PetSmart, because that means they want to make sure you're getting the right setup, because it says setting up the small pet habitat. This is what Petco is missing. It's missing actual setting up your enclosure, because these are garbage. Get in there. Bye-bye. So let's dive into Syrian hamsters. It says experience level beginner. I wouldn't really say that these guys are beginners, because young Syrian hamsters and female Syrian hamsters are one of the most difficult hamsters I've ever had to deal with, and it's because females go into heat every 4 to 6 days, making them extremely hyper and high-strung and needs more attention and more time outside their cage, or they get restless. As well as young hamsters, they don't know how to be handled, and that's usually what you find in pet stores because they come in as young as 2 months old or younger sometimes, which is insane. You only see old hamsters in pet stores when they have been there for a very very long time. But pet stores have to make it a rule that if they've been there too long, they need to be put into the adoption program because they won't be making any money on older hamsters because people apparently want new hamsters. And I absolutely hate it when people say that, but it's supposedly pet store policy. You need to relinquish them into your program so they can get adopted ASAP. And or just decreasing the price every so often until they are basically free. So here, lifespan, average 2 years, so that's more factual. Habitat, nocturnal. Housing, alone. Thank you for making it very obvious to be housing alone. And it says shop for your small pet in 3 simple steps here. So let's open it up. Step 1. Look, they actually make steps. Isn't that great? I do like the way this layout is for this pamphlet. Thank you, PetSmart, for something, but let's see what it says here. Housing. Multi-level homes are preferred since they provide additional space for exercising. No, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this hamster stuff works. Horizontal floor space, not vertical. A lot of cages, for some reason, are catering to small hamsters when they look more like rat enclosures or chinchilla enclosures or ferret enclosures. They don't need the height. They don't need to be in the sky. They can actually really severely injure themselves, and we've actually gotten a few hamsters in our rescue who've come from tier cage level enclosures that they've just fallen and injured themselves. So just gonna say that multi-level homes, wrong. Don't. Your Syrian hamster needs a home large enough for A, a food bowl, and B, a water bottle, a hiding area, and an exercise wheel. There should be plenty of room for all cage accessories and for your hamster to move around freely. Unfortunately, a lot of the cages even PetSmart sells doesn't have this in there. And it sucks because even though they're providing this information to you, if you see your hamster is crammed, there's something wrong, but they sell cages like this anyways to make money. It's so sickening. Minimum cage size is 12 by 12 by 12 with wire spacing no larger than 1/2 apart. Okay, 12 by 12 by 12, that's totally incorrect. That is so small of a space. Also 12 inches of height for a Syrian hamster, they will go nuts. But 12 by 12 by 12 is way too small, 450 square inches in the United States, in the United Kingdoms, at least 620 square inches as a starting minimum. Of course, they don't really list that and they're going off of really outdated information here, which is, it's just so terrible. Cage placement. Place the habitat in a cool 65 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit, low humidity area out of direct sunlight. At least this part, when it comes to cage placement versus the Petco's cage placement, at least this is sounding a lot better and is providing a quick and easy understanding of what not to do. So step 2, exercise and chew. Exercise wheel. Remember, hamsters are nocturnal and may use the exercise wheel after your bedtime. Syrian hamsters also enjoy running in an exercise ball when outside of the habitat. I don't like that they included this because of course we got the big controversy of the exercise balls where I still have some as backups, but playpens are more preferred and your hamster doesn't have a small space that they run around in. They can run around in a bigger playpen that you've made or you've just given them time outside of their cage, which is what a lot of them need because they're so restless and because they travel for long distances, they need that. But it doesn't describe what Syrian wheel sizes should be. And with Syrians, they will curve their backs if they're on anything too small, which actually damages their spines. So unfortunately, they did not provide any factual information here. They just say they're nocturnal and they may use their wheels. Of course they're gonna use their wheels. They travel a lot. The only times you ever see hamsters not using their wheels again is when they are injured and or in pain when using them and or if they are too old to use them and they don't have that energy left in them to use it. Hide house. Plastic hide houses should be cleaned regularly. Edible homes give the additional benefit of encouraging normal chewing behavior. Wood chew toys. Your Syrian hamster's front teeth never stop growing. Chew toys should be available at all times. Yes! Good job, PetSmart! Should be available at all times, not just a one and done deal. I love it. I love it so much. Step 3, care, and it actually shows you a critter trail right there, which, oh my god, if people see this, then they're gonna choose it. I hate it. I hate the visuals. The visuals suck. Bedding. Provide lots of clean paper bedding or wood shavings. Line the home with 1 to 2 inches of bedding. Incorrect. Bedding should be spot cleaned daily and completely changed weekly. Now, they're doing this based off of what you see here. This is correct by what you see here, so they have the premise correct, but they don't have the good information correct. Hamsters will shred nesting material and make sleep areas. Paper or cotton fabrics are acceptable. Be careful with cotton. No cotton balls, no cotton fluff. It can get wrapped around their intestines. When they say cotton fabrics, people are just gonna generally go to cotton fluff or balls. That's bad, do not use them. Clean the habitat with small animal cleaning solutions only. Again, marketing scheme, because they're saying basic water and vinegar is not okay and they're wanting you to purchase cleaning supplies. You really don't, you just need to use a a dish soap that doesn't really have any harsh chemicals or scents. Traits and behaviors. Easily startled. Be careful, especially when waking your pet. If you're startled, your pet may bite. Always take extra care when awakening your hamster, and always handle your pet gently. Okay, so that's better information than the Petco guide. Exercise. Syrian hamsters have tons of energy and need to run on a wheel in their habitat or in an exercise ball daily. You've already stated that, but I kind of wish that they would go into more detail about outside of the cage time, which they kind of do in exercise ball daily. But here it says, or in an exercise ball daily. Incorrect. That will confuse people. They will probably think, oh, I either need a wheel or I need an exercise ball. Which one should I give them? That's terrible. That is very terrible. Don't say or, say and. Otherwise, they're going to pick one over the other, which you absolutely need a wheel 24/7 in their enclosure. Clean. Syrian hamsters groom often. I don't even think that needed to be put in there, but okay. Nutrition and tips. Syrian hamsters are omnivores. Seeds should be used only as additives or treats, not primary food. I really wish that they wouldn't say that, because you do need a seed mix for the variety of the nutrients, but you should also provide a lab block with it. But no, they always say seed mixes are bad. They are not bad. Food should always be placed in a bowl and not directly on the bedding to avoid accidental indigestion of the bedding. Well, they can't eat it, but they can pouch it, and that's what is going to scare the crap out of new time hamster owners when they see their animal bedding in their mouth and running back to their hides. They're going to freak out. It's totally okay. That's so not needed to be put in here. Water must be available in the cage at all times, and food and water bowls and bottles should be cleaned once a day. At least they provide a little bit more information about you should be cleaning out the bowls like once per day. That's a good idea, so it doesn't get really nasty, mildewy, gross if it's humid in your house, things like that. Dietary guidelines, which they actually do have some good information here, so I do like that. Thank you so much. Treats. Alfalfa hay is kind of stupid in here. I see that. Prepared pelleted food should be 95% of diet. That is not necessarily true here. I don't like that. And then 5% of the daily diet is vegetables. That's absolutely not true there. They need a lot more than that. And treats should be offered sparingly and should not be more than 5% of their diet. That sounds about right. 5% I think is usually where treats should lie. Once in a blue moon is what I like to say. Safety and cleanliness. Use caution when handling pets, and remember that all pets may bite or scratch, especially when stressed. Handle your hamster gently. Scoop up your pet in both hands and hold against your body with cupped hands. Remember to never grab your hamster's fur or tail. Supervise children around pets. Thank you, PetSmart. This is what I want Petco's flyer to have. You did good. You did better than I expected, but you still kind of suck. So unfortunately, yes, this one sucked. Let's see how different the dwarf hamster care is right here. It also says for dwarf hamsters to be housed alone, and I actually applaud that, because dwarf hamsters, even though you can probably provide them with what they need when it comes to size-wise and their territory and the food and all the things that they need to not start fighting, there can be freak accidents. They can start fighting. It can be random. It could even be when you're not at home and you end up coming back home and there's your dwarf hamster dead because your other dwarf hamster picked a fight with it. You cannot mimic what they have in the wild, family life environment, say for instance like the Roborovskis. You cannot mimic that in captivity unless you want to dedicate your whole entire room apparently to a Roborovski. But even then they could start fighting too. So thank you for saying house alone in the dwarf hamsters here. Lifespan 2 years. I've actually had my winter whites expire very quickly. I have them expire under 2 years, usually at the 1 to 1.5 mark. Unfortunately, my Reinhardt did pass away. I haven't made a tribute yet. I really do want to make a tribute, but I have no time. But I swear he was about 1.5 years old, or maybe closer to 2 years when he passed away. I need to relook at my files to see how old he was when he passed, but they definitely don't live very long. Let's see here if it's the exact same information. The one thing that's different in exercise and chew is they added dust bath, which I guess is exercise, even though that's more of like housing and what you probably should be providing them. But it says here, containers should allow room for your pet to flip and roll around. Add 2 inches of bath dust. Incorrect. No dust, sand. To a container 2 to 3 times a week. Let your pet hamster take a dust bath for 10 to 20 minutes. I see this happen all the time in pet stores. They do this as themselves so it doesn't get the enclosure all dirty and messy. Just leave the sand in there until you have to next spot clean or deep clean it, because they just like rolling around in it. You should have that in there about 24/7 for dwarf hamsters. Yep, it's the same here too. So basically that is it for the Syrian and dwarf. Dwarf is basically the same care guide as Syrian, but they added added the dust bath in here, which I do applaud them for doing that, but it is pretty bad care, but at least they are detailing it a little bit better. So this one right here says setting up the small pet habitat. I just found out it's actually for multiple small animals. So let's just read the hamster sections. Multi-level habitats. Chinchillas, hamsters, and rats need a multi-level home that allows them to climb and explore different spaces. Incorrect hamster. No, no, no. So after that, they list plastic and wire habitats. Plastic habitats give you the opportunity to view your small pet as it burrows and plays. Wire homes are another option. Look for habitats with wire openings 1/2 inch or smaller to prevent your pet from slipping through. Building your habitat, make sure you have what you need before you get started. Not all habitats come with tools for assembling. Smaller habitats may take 30 to 45 minutes to assemble. Larger, more complicated habitats may take over an hour to put together. Consider setting up the habitat before you bring your pet home so that you can transfer your pet directly to it, or consider investing in a soft-sided transport carrier. So I like this right here because it's like you should have it set up before you bring them home. And then step 1, choosing your location for the habitat. It looks really good here for safety and whatnot. Exercise and chew. It kind of goes over hides, toys, and treats, but not really in depth. Number 3, add bedding because it's a necessity for burrowing pets, but it doesn't say who is the burrower. So it could confuse people about, oh, does this mean hamsters? What does this mean? Do hamsters burrow? Huh? What? So it's not very clear there. It does say litter, pellets, granules, and corn cobs, which corn cobs don't use. Oh my gosh, they get moldy so quickly. Don't use it. It's a food source. Don't use it. No, it's not good for bedding. Don't use it. So hamsters, they don't really need litter pans. However, Syrians, if given a sand bath, they can use it to go pee in. That's their litter box pretty much. Habitat maintenance, it's basically what we went over in these care guides. Habitat essentials. Small pets need separate areas in their habitat to sleep, play, and eat. Encourage foraging by hiding treats. Veggies bowl baskets can hold veggie treats and other boxed foods. When you look at something like this that is just for all small animals, you don't really need a hay basket for hamsters. And so people might purchase one thinking you do and realize you don't need it. So when they rehome their animal, it comes with it and you kind of are left scratching your head going, why? Why do they have that if they have a hamster? It's because care guides like these really confuse people, so they do miss the mark on setting up the small pet habitat. But again, all these care guides are kind of crap in the sense as they don't provide actual information that hamster owners need. Please, if you're out there and want to get a hamster, look online, look at the hamster hideout forums, look at YouTube videos that are appropriate and seem educational and instructional. Look for stuff that you think will actually help you out. So thanks guys for watching this video today. I'm sorry it's so long, but thanks guys. If you liked the video, hit like to show your support. Comment with anything down below describing stuff related to this video and what you think about the care guides. And if you're new here and would like to become a part of the Munchkin family, please subscribe. Thank you, and I'll see you guys around, hopefully when my voice has returned.